Hello again. We're going to have a look at past simple and present perfect simple. These two tenses are the typical case where everybody's like, what? Because they get so confused with the definitions. You know, forget about the definitions. Just remember the type of the sentence. Okay, so together we're going to have a look at my way of doing it to keep it really simple. Alright, so let's get started. So first of all, past simple. Two types of situations, okay? So you only have to remember two things. First one is that we use it when we know when, well, whatever it is we're talking about happened, okay? So of course we always know when we talk about something, but it's about the person who we're talking to, okay? So the moment you say something like yesterday, or last week, or last month, or last Christmas, then of course it's going to be past simple. So for example, koupil jsem kolo. Okay, so if I don't say when, it's gonna have to be present perfect. But if I say yesterday, it's definitely past simple. I bought a bike yesterday, okay? However, if I don't say yesterday and I just say I've bought a bike, then that's present perfect simple. Did you hear it? I've bought a bike. The whole difference is actually that one sound when I say I've bought a bike. Okay? It's of course only in this case when buy, bought, the second and third form are the same. And the second situation is when I say how many times something happened, but I know that it's not going to happen anymore, okay? Whereas this is the difference that if I know that it's going to happen again, or if there is a possibility that it will happen again, then it's present perfect simple, alright? So one more time, past simple, we only use it for when the person who we're talking to knows when that thing happened, or when we're saying how many times something happened, but it's not going to happen anymore, okay? Two things only, remember that. And then the magical, mysterious, present perfect simple, so hard, nobody knows. Okay, so present perfect simple is actually simple. So we only need to use it in situations when we say how many times something has happened and it can still happen. Typical example, I have seen that movie 3 times, or I've had 2 cups of coffee today. I can still have more. I can still watch the movie one more time, yeah? However, this is also functional the same way in a situation when the number is 0 or 1. That means the typical examples with have you ever, so have you ever been there? It's like I'm asking, have you been there like once or more times? See? So it's still number of times. I'm not interested in some specific event, just whether the person has been there or not. Okay, so this is a big group, how many times something has happened. We'll do more examples later on, okay? And the second situation where we use it is with the magical words just, yet, and already. Yet and already, there's no question. We gotta use this tense with that. Have you done it yet? Have you seen it yet? I've already seen it. I've already done it. Typical, typical, typical. If you look at it in a bit more detail, you will see that this is actually still the first type of the sentence when I'm saying how many times something has happened, because I'm saying that it's happened once, or I'm asking whether it has happened once. So basically it's still the same thing, okay? Nothing special. But then there's this word just. And just is a kind of a difference in British and American English, because the British would always say, I've just done it, I've just seen him. I've just seen him, like he was walking downstairs, like, you know. But the Americans, they wouldn't do that, most probably. They would just say, yeah, I just saw him walking down the stairs. So for me, for my students, I don't care if they use present perfect with the word just, but if you're gonna take some test or something, it's probably gonna be British English based test, so you'd better use present perfect with the word just. And one more situation, and it's when we say how long something's been happening. So you see in the definition I say how long something has been happening, because generally we use present perfect continuous for that. But there are, of course, non-action verbs which are not generally used in the continuous tense. So in these situations we will use present perfect simple. Typically, I have known her for 3 years. Yeah? Such a typical situation. Or I've always wanted to be the president. So we got 2 situations in past simple and 3 situations or 3 types of sentences in present perfect simple. That's it. So you just gotta remember 5 different types of sentences. So whenever you're taking a test on this, whether it's past simple or present perfect simple, it's always, the sentence always gonna be one of these 5 cases. You just need to figure it out which one and then use the correct tense. Okay? So let's have a look at some examples. Stáhl jsem si film. Vím kdy? Nevím kdy. So I've downloaded a movie. Yeah? Nobody says I have downloaded. Everybody says I've downloaded a movie. Okay? The word have or v in the pronunciation is a function word and it is never stressed. It is not important in the sentence. Focus and the main stress is always on the main verb. So downloaded. I've downloaded a movie. However, if I say včera jsem si stáhl film, of course it's going to be yesterday I downloaded a movie. Quite clear, yeah? Because we say when. The person who I'm talking to knows when. So it's past tense. But then with the same sentence I can say how many movies I have downloaded. So I can say I have downloaded 50 movies. If I say it in present perfect, that means I can still download more, yeah? Of course, only legally. So I've downloaded 50 movies. But if somebody says, I downloaded 50 movies, that means they're done. They're not gonna download anymore. Over. Game over, baby. See? So the reality doesn't change at all. It's about me, what I decide that I want to describe. A lot of people like to trick the system, so they will like, oh, I don't need present perfect. Is it true? Can you really avoid it? Yes and no. Yes, in the situations when you just say that something has happened, but you will decide to add the information when. And then, of course, it's past simple. So you will catch yourself, you'll say, I visited my family, and then you're like, oh shit, that was not present perfect, oops. So you will add last weekend. And that's it, and the sentence correct. But in situations when you're describing how many times something has happened or happened, then it's kind of really important whether it can happen again or not. So typically, for example, you'll say like, I had 3 shots of tequila today. Then it's like, oh, 3 shots he had, so it's past, so he's done, he's not gonna have any more. Okay, so probably too drunk now. Or the person can say, I've had 3 shots. That means they're not done, they're gonna keep getting wasted. And lastly, no, in another situation, the situation where we're saying how long. Why? Because if I use past tense for how long, that means it's over, yes? So when I say I knew her for 3 years, it means something bad happened, you know, because I don't know her anymore. So generally there's only one option, that she's dead, you know. So I have to say I have known her for 3 years if I still know her and she's alive, okay? So it's kind of a big deal whether you choose to say have known or knew. So in this situation, sorry, you can't avoid it. Actually, you can say I met her 3 years ago. So if you say I met her 3 years ago, then yes, you can avoid it. So let's have a look at some examples in like a typical dialogue, you know, something that probably you may use. Dlouho jsem tě neviděl, kde jsi byl? So, dlouho jsem tě neviděl. It is how long, isn't it? So, how long, we know we use present perfect. So, I haven't seen you for a long time. Kde jsi byl? Do we know when? Do we know when this person means? No. So it's where have you been? Okay? So both of these two sentences are without any specification of the time, and they're at the beginning of the conversation. So not even from context can I know whether it was at a specific time or not. And we answer, jo, minulý týden jsem se vrátil ze státu. Minulý týden, last week. So click, we know when, obviously, past tense. So last week I came back from the US. And there comes the question, co jsi dělal za oceánem? So now, co jsi dělal za oceánem? There is no time specification, but we know that they mean the situation when last week I came back from the US. So this is again past simple because it is a specific event in the past. Yeah? So we know when. What did you do overseas? And then comes the answer. Navštívil jsem rodinu ve Washingtonu. So clearly we continue in the story. So I visited my family in Washington. And then comes the question, co ty? Byl jsi někdy v Americe? What about you? Byl jsi někdy? Někdy? Ptám se kolikrát, jestli víckrát než jednou, nebo aspoň jednou. So it's present perfect. Have you ever been to America? And then his answer, jo, byl jsem tam 3krát. 3krát? How many times? So yes, I've been there 3 times. Easy. Next question. A kdy jsi tam byl poprvé? Poprvé. And I'm asking kdy, when. So if I'm asking when, I'm gonna have to find out when. So this is past simple. When were you there for the first time? Okay? And the answer comes, v roce 2007 jsem jel na Havaj. So in 2007, vím kdy? 2007, I went to Hawaii. And the reaction, Tyjo, líbilo se ti to? Tyjo, oh my god, líbilo se ti to? We will never ask, have you liked it? It's never possible because this is always about something specific. So it will always be, did you? Did you like it? Did you like it? Of course, it's Hawaii. And then the answer comes, jasný, tyjo, Hawaii byl úžasný. Duh, Hawaii was awesome. Yeah, because it's still that specific event in the past. We continue in the story. Pak se rozhodneme jít na kafe. Coffee? You wanna grab some coffee? I mean, já už jsem měl asi 4 dneska. Tyjo, 4. Kolikrát se stalo dneska? Může se ještě dát? Dá si. Takže present perfect. I've had 4 cups of coffee today. Okay? I've had. Sure, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, so these are some examples. I think we have covered about 90% of the situations, so you should be fine with that. Now you should go online and check all the exercises that I recommend to do. And when you get about 1,000 examples and you will drill all the situations, then you will feel more confident and then you can start using this normally. Yeah, it has to become automatic. All right? Don't let this slow you down. Please never let any grammar slow you down. We still need to keep you fluent, okay? So at the end of the day, you know, if you say past tense or present perfect, if the people get it, you know, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. So good luck. Bye.